on April 16th. This case is getting old. I understand you're still waiting on, or she's still waiting on discovery. She just filed a motion. If that motion's not set for a hearing, I see it was just filed like a week ago, less than a week ago, then she needs to call my judicial assistant or email and get it set for a hearing.
And that is through your JA, Your Honor?
Yes, we'll
Okay.
special set that one.
I will make sure she knows to contact your office to set that, Your Honor.
Okay, and pretrial will be April 16th. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put it on the 14th. So right now it'll track with the new case. We may move both of them to the 16th, but
Yes, Your Honor.
I'll put it on the 14th docket right now. Okay?
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
And this is 21 CF 2810.
Need to make sure that Ms. Graham is here as well because she has a companion case. I know she's running between courtrooms.
Actually, in the waiting room, Judge, with another client. Can you go get her? I'll go get this grant.
Thank you. So Ms. Dudley's case is 21 CF 2810,
Yes, Your Honor.
violation of probation.
She must be downstairs at Judge Mason's.
Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and proceed with your case, and then I'll have to bring Ms. Allen back out.
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Dudley has indicated she's requesting a continuance. It appears Ms. Graham has deposition set in this case for the 27th, or for the new law case, I imagine is the basis for the violation, 24 CF 1105.
My violation was technical.
It was a technical.
Yeah, I've been here for 11 months.
Okay. In any event, Your Honor, I know all Ms. Dudley has indicated to me is she's requesting a continuance. It appears she's waiting on Ms. Graham to conduct the depositions on the 27th to see, I guess, how that may affect the VOP.
Your Honor, he has no objection. I believe this is one of the ones that's part of the big FDLE cases, the new law is, so I think the depositions would be necessary.
Okay. Then we will set 21 CF 2810 for April 16th at 9 o'clock.
Consent.
Judge, Ms. Brown received the building. I'm sure she will be back, but she's currently not in.
Okay, thank you.
And I believe that's all both myself and Ms. Dudley have today, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Cobb? Good morning.
Nathan Crowder, it's the first one I have on the docket.
All right, Mr. Crowder is 24 CF 2648. I'm sure he'll be out momentarily.
Yeah, and then 24 CF 1476, two cases.
24 CF, what was the other one?
1476. I'm just going to get him to sign the plea, Judge.
Okay.
Judge, this is the state versus Nathan Eric Crowder, and the two cases, 24 CF 2468, 24 CF 1476. He's going to change his plea from not guilty in both cases to no contest. to the charge of fleeing and attempting to elude with lights and sirens, second-degree felony in 24 CF 2468, and to possession of controlled substance in 24 CF 1476. It's going to be a downward departure plea agreement, 24 months probation, 50 hours community service, substance abuse evaluation, and any recommended treatment, random UAs, standard court costs and fees, and it's going to be concurrent in both cases. May I approach?
Yes. No problem. Thank you.
And Judge, the score sheet's attached to the back of it.
Thank you. All right, sir, raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth? If so, say I do.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You can put your hand down. If you'll state your name, please.
Nathan Eric Crowder.
Thank you. Sir, you heard your attorney announce the charges and the agreement that has been reached between yourself and the state. Have you had a chance to talk to your lawyer about the charges in both cases and the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you read and sign the plea agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is this your signature on the last page of the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand the rights you give up when you enter a plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you entering the plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is anybody forcing you or threatening you?
No, Your Honor.
Have you had any drugs, alcohol, medicine, anything in the last 24 hours that affects your ability to understand what you're doing?
No, Your Honor.
I have a score sheet that shows 44.4 total sentence points.
Yes, ma'am, I agree with that.
Any objections or corrections?
No, ma'am.
That would be, lowest permissible prison sentence would be 12.3 months.
Correct.
So you mentioned this is a downward departure.
Yes, a legitimate, uncoerced plea bargain between the defense and the state.
Yes, Your Honor, this is a legitimate, uncoerced plea agreement.
All right. Sir, you understand you score prison.
Yes, Your
The state has offered you a non-prison sentence. So you're going to be placed on probation in accordance with your plea agreement. You understand if you violate probation, you're likely facing prison.
Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
How do you plead to count one, fleeing and attempting to elude in a second-degree felony in case 24 CF 2468?
No contest.
No contest.
And statute for that is 316.19, is that a 3?
It's a 5.
1955.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Subparagraph 3, fleeing and attempting to elude with lights and sirens. How do you plead, sir?
No contest, Your Honor.
All right. And in 24 CF 1476, possession of a controlled substance, how do you plead?
No contest, Your Honor.
I accept your plea in both cases and find it was freely and voluntarily entered. I'm going to sentence you in accordance with your plea agreement. In both cases, that would be 24 months probation, 50, that's 50 hours of community service, substance abuse evaluation, and complete any recommended treatment. When will that evaluation take place?
Within 30 days of his release from incarceration. I'll make sure to include that next time, so there's some
Well,
time.
sometimes people wait until the very end and then they get violated
Yes, ma'am.
because they didn't complete it in time. Also, the 50 hours of community service, I'd like to set a minimum amount per month, or that'll be piled up at the end as well.
Yes, ma'am.
I will leave that to the two of you to figure out what you want to do, but I would like to put a minimum in here.
Can we do at least 10 hours a month? Judge, can we do at least 10 hours a month? Is that okay?
Sir, you, of course, are you,
Okay.
I mean,
I
it's
asked
a
him.
lot.
Yes, sir.
I mean,
You gonna be all right with that?
Yes, sir.
He says he's gonna be okay with that.
okay. Well, then if you don't do the 10 hours per month, you could be violated. So would
You
you,
gonna do 5 hours a month?
Yes, too.
He says he'd rather do 5 hours
that's
a month.
probably more realistic. Why don't we say, start in the second month to give you a minute to get on your feet after you get out, okay?
Yes, Mom.
But then you need to do at least 5 hours. You can always do more, but you need to do at least 5 hours per month. There will be random drug testing at your expense. Both cases will run concurrently. Let me find out what the costs are.
For case 24 CF 268, it will be $548. For case 24 CF 1476, $62.
How much, 615? Okay, and then public defender, court-appointed fee,
$100 per case and $50 for one case.
okay. On case 24 CF 2468, it's $548 in court costs, $150 cost of defense. That includes the application fee. In case 24 CF 1476, $615 in court costs and $100 cost of defense. Also, this would result in a mandatory driver's license suspension,
We
correct?
talked about that. Yes, ma'am. It does result in a mandatory driver's license suspension.
That's in 24 CF 1476. Sir, there's nothing I can do about that. It's statutory, it's required. I would have no objection if you qualify for a business purposes only license. I just can't order the Department of Highway Safety Motor Vehicles to give you one.
Yes, sir.
So, did I leave out any terms and conditions?
No, ma'am, I think that's it.
Adjudication of guilt on both counts. And
Also, is the 50 hours community service for the fleeing and eluding case or the special case?
We can make it for, whichever one this is.
The fleeing and eluding.
Would be fine.
okay. All right, sir, you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court. If you cannot afford a lawyer, I will appoint one for you. I encourage you to take probation very, very seriously.
Yes, sir.
You need to report within 24 hours of your release. I cannot stress the importance enough of complying because you will likely score prison if you violate,
Yes, sir.
and you're facing substantial time with these charges. All right. Good luck to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Right, sir.
Judge, this is State of Florida versus Malik Humphreys. He's got quite a few cases. I'll run them off here really quick.
Go ahead.
24 CF 1795, 24 CF 1141, 24 CF 1139, 24 CF 1138, and 23 CF 2577. Judge, I wasn't the first appointed attorney on these cases. I was later on down the line, but I have completed depositions in all the cases. I completed the depositions, I think around January 17th or 18th.
I saw that.
And I'm in the process of drafting a motion to suppress in the trafficking case, which is the case that drives all the other cases because of how serious it is. I've almost got that complete. I don't believe I'll be asking for any additional continuances past the one I'm getting ready to ask for right now. And so I am going to ask that the case be put on the April 16th docket, and when I get the motion to suppress filed, I'll contact your JA, because I think it's going to take longer than just a normal 5 or 10 minutes to do, so.
Yeah,
go that way.
usually we special set those because they do take longer, so contact Amanda and she'll get it scheduled.
Okay, I will.
Okay, so, any objection from the state?
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay. So, Mr. Cobb, I know you'll work diligently to get that filed as soon as possible so that we can get it set.
Yes, ma'am, I will.
All right. Then I will go ahead and continue all of the cases to the April 16th docket, and hopefully we can get that motion heard prior to then.
Oh, yeah, definitely we will.
Hopefully so.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Youngblood?
Yes, Anthony Youngblood. Judge, this is State of Florida versus Anthony Youngblood, 24 CF 2245, 23 CF 2110, and 23 CF 1736. I did just finish depositions last week or the week before in the trafficking case, the fentanyl trafficking case. I'm in the process of getting 2 body cam videos transcribed in support of a motion to suppress that I'm started on. It is fairly new with regards to finishing the depositions, but I am going to get it filed, and I'm going to be asking for the continuance like I did in Mr. Humphreys' case. But I'm in a position where that'll be the last time I ask for a continuance because we'll be ready to go with these.
And the state has no objection, Your Honor.
No, not fentanyl.
I do see that in 24 CF 2245, those are serious charges, and it's a relatively new case.
Yeah.
All right, I will continue the case to April 16th. All cases.
Mr. Youngblood is set for April 15th, but I'm going to file a motion to suppress, and I'm going to advance you on the docket to sit that for hearing. So maybe we can resolve it before April 16th, but that's just the date that it's set out to, okay? All right. Wait till she says you're excused.
Oh, yes, April 16th, but I may see you before then for a motion hearing. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you. Thank you.
Okay. Judge, those are the cases I have on the docket. Can I be excused?
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, bye-bye.
Ms. Graham? I know she's running between courtrooms this morning. Mr. Dyram?
Thank you, Judge. Good morning. Your Honor, I have one case on the docket, Mr. Felder.
Yes, 24 CF 2781.
Correct, and Judge, he also has a VOP in 22 CF 756. I'm not sure which docket that is on, but we also have a plea for that.
Oh, great.
Your Honor, Mr. Felder is present in 24 CF 2781 and 22 CF 756. In 24 CF 2781, he is going to withdraw his earlier plea, enter a plea of no contest. In 22 CF 756, he is going to admit his violation of probation, and I have executed pleas for both. May I approach?
Yes,
Thank
thank
you,
you.
Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, sir, if you'll raise your right hand, do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth? If so, say I do.
I do.
Thank you, sir. You can put your hand down. If you'll just state your name, please.
Ted Jeffrey Felder Jr.
Thank you. So in case 24 CF 2781, your original charges were, or are, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, that's a second-degree felony, and aggravated assault by threat with a deadly weapon, and that's a third-degree felony. In 22 CF 756, you are alleged to have violated your probation. There are about 4 different allegations of violating your probation. Have you had a chance to talk to your lawyer about the charges in 24 CF 2781 and the allegations that you violated your probation in your 2022 case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you read and sign the agreement in both cases?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, in your new case, is this your signature on the next to the last page?
Yes, ma'am.
In your violation of probation case, is that your signature on the back?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand the rights you give up when you enter a plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you entering the plea freely and voluntarily?
Freely.
Are you happy with your lawyer?
Most definitely.
That's good to hear. Have you had any drugs, alcohol, medicine, anything in the last 24 hours that affects your ability to understand what's going on?
No, ma'am.
Any DNA?
No, Your Honor.
All right. I do find a sufficient factual basis based on my review of the arrest report and the VOP affidavit. Sir, if you're not a U.S. citizen, do you understand the plea could subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. In 24 CF 2781, how do you plead to the lesser included offense in count 2 of improper exhibition of a weapon, which is a misdemeanor?
No content.
All right, I accept your plea as to that lesser included offense and find it was freely and voluntarily entered. Does the state have an announcement on count 1?
Yes, Your Honor, we're going to dismiss that count for a plea to the other count.
Okay. And in case 22-756, are you admitting to all of the allegations that you violated your probation?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I find your admission to be freely and voluntarily given, and I will sentence you in accordance with your plea agreement. As to 24 CF 2781, you are adjudicated guilty of that lesser included offense on count 2, improper exhibition of a weapon. $270 in court costs, 60 days credit for time served, and you are to forfeit the firearm. You need to do so within 24 hours of your release. And in the violation of probation case, 22 CF 756, there will be a $100 VOP fee, cost of prosecution. Your probation will be reinstated and modified to include 1 year of community control. Probation, what is the balance that was remaining on his probation? Sorry? What is the balance of his probation, if you know?
I have him terminating on 8/14/27.
27? So is this an additional year on top of that?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay, so 1 year of community control and then the balance of probation will be served.
So this will be, the first year will be CC, and then the remainder will be
Okay.
probation.
So we're just converting the
Correct.
next 12 months to community control and the balance will be
Yes, Your
regular
Honor.
probation?
Thank you.
Okay, so we're not adding the length of the time. All right. And you must complete all original requirements. Any other terms or conditions I've left out?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
And was Mr. Felder previously adjudicated guilty?
He was, Your Honor.
Okay. So, all right, sir, you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court. If you cannot afford a lawyer, I'll appoint one for you. Let me just check with the state. Do I not need a score sheet on the VOP?
No, Your Honor, this is just a modification.
Okay, all right. Good luck to you, sir. Is this the only thing holding you in jail?
Your Honor, he does have a hold out of Escambia, but I believe there might be a bond attached to that. So either he will bond out or he will be bussed over there.
Okay, you need to report back to your probation officer within 24 hours of your release. Okay, so if you get taken to Escambia, whenever you get out over there, you need to see probation right away, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Dees?
I also share him with Mr. Riasti.
Great. And I see Mr. Riasti is present as well.
There he is.
All right, that is 23 CF 2641 is your case, Mr. Dees.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay, and Mr. Riasti's case, I'll handle that in just a second.
There are two cases that I represent on 23 CF 167 and 23 CF 52585.
Do you want the 150 on this?
All right.
Case too?
It should be, it says one.
Okay. Your Honor, Robert Dees, on behalf of Mr. Sori, Mr. Riasti is present as well. I represent Mr. Sori in 23 CF 2641. Mr. Riasti has him in 23 CF 167, 23 CF 2585. At this time, Mr. Sori is going to enter a no contest plea. We do have a plea and sentencing agreement laid out. May I announce the terms for the court?
Yes.
Judge, in my case, 23-2641, he's going to plead as charged in count 1 to possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. He'll be adjudicated guilty. He'll serve 120 months Department of Corrections. There is a 3-year minimum mandatory sentence that he will have to serve on that one. Mr. Sori is aware of that. He'll get credit for all time served. All fines and costs mandated by statute will be imposed and reduced to a lien. He will have to forfeit his firearm. Count 2 in 2641, he'll be adjudicated guilty, credit for time served. If I may just go ahead and announce Mr. Riasti's while I'm on a roll.
Yes.
In 23-167, he'll be adjudicated guilty. He'll do 120 months Department of Corrections to run concurrently with 23-2641. He'll get all credit for time served. All fines and costs mandated by statute will be imposed and reduced to a lien. He'll have to forfeit the firearm in 23-167. There will be an additional $150 PD fee. Count 2 will be dismissed, count 3 will be dismissed, and in exchange for the plea in 2641 and 167, 23-2585 will be null prost. I believe those are all of our terms, unless I missed anything. May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes. Thank you. Mr. Sori, will you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth? If so, say, "I do."
I do.
Thank you, sir. You can put your hand down. Please state your name.
Martavis Sword.
Thank you. You're before the court on 3 different cases. You heard your attorney announce all of the charges. Have you had a chance to discuss the charges in all 3 cases with each of your attorneys?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you discussed the plea agreement with your attorneys?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you read and sign the agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that your signature on the next to the last page?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand the rights you give up when you enter a plea?
Yes, ma'am.
You're giving up your right to have a trial and make the state prove all the charges against you?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you entering the plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am.
Is anybody forcing you to enter the plea?
No, ma'am.
Anybody promise you anything that's not in your plea agreement?
No, ma'am.
Have you had any drugs, alcohol, medicine, anything that affects your ability to understand what's going on?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the services of your attorneys?
Yes, ma'am.
Did they answer all of your questions?
Yes, ma'am.
DNA?
Not that I'm aware of, Your Honor.
The defense is not aware of any exonerating DNA evidence in existence.
And I did review all of the cases last night. I do find a sufficient factual basis in the arrest reports. Sir, if you're not a U.S. citizen, do you understand the plea will subject you to deportation?
No, ma'am.
In 23 CF 2641, how do you plead to counts 1 and 2?
No contest.
In 23 CF 167, how do you plead to count 1?
No contest.
That's carrying a concealed firearm by a convicted felon. No contest, you said?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I accept your plea. I find it was freely and voluntarily entered. I will sentence you in accordance with your plea agreement. First, does the state have an announcement in 23 CF 167 on counts 2 and 3?
Yes, Your Honor, we would announce a null pros and as well in 23 CF 2585 and null pros in that case in exchange for a plea to the other remaining cases.
Thank you. So, sir, in 23 CF 2641, as to count 1, adjudication of guilt, 120 months, Department of Corrections. I do have a score sheet that shows, is that 63 total
It
sentence?
is, Your Honor.
Okay. Any corrections or objections to the score sheet by either attorney?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. So 120 months Department of Corrections. There is a 36-month minimum mandatory sentence. Credit for all time served. Let me find out what the costs are so I can impose them. $515.
Sounds so simple.
And what about in 167? And is there a $150 PD fee in one of them and then 100 in the other one? Okay. In case 23-2641, $515 in court costs, $150 public defender fee, that includes the application fee. You are to forfeit your firearm. How is he going to accomplish that if he's incarcerated?
I think it's already been
Okay.
seized. I think it'll just be destroyed at this point.
Okay. And count 2 in 23 CF 2641, adjudication of guilt and credit for time served. In 23 CF 167, count 1, adjudication of guilt, 120 months Department of Corrections, State Prison, to run concurrently with the other case. Credit for all time served. You're to forfeit the firearm in that one as well. And $515 in court costs, $100 public defender fee. I only charged you one application fee, so you didn't have to pay it in that particular case. And all of the fines and costs will be reduced to a lien. And the state's already made announcements on the remaining charges and the other case. Sir, you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court. If you cannot afford a lawyer, I'll appoint one for you. Good luck to you, sir. Thank you. Thank you to both attorneys.
That's all I have before you.
Thank you.
Coward, yeah, we can bring Mr. Coward on out. Judge, this is Mr. Tremont Coward, 24 CF 1798, Robert Dees, on behalf of Mr. Coward. I had some last-minute discussions with the state. At this point, I think we're going to leave Mr. Coward's case set for trial. I know there's some outstanding drone footage that we're still awaiting. Had a search warrant issue. I think the drone footage will cure the search warrant issue that I have. I don't think there's any other issues that will delay me in being prepared for this trial. So we're going to announce ready at this time.
The state is working on the drone footage. I've been actively speaking with the investigator on this. I should be getting it today, if not tomorrow. So the state's ready for trial.
Judge, my understanding is we'll be back next Monday.
Yes. Would you like me to leave you set for docket day or go straight to jury review?
Docket day. I just noticed that I do have some depositions going that morning. If the court would just be aware that I may be a little late that day.
No problem. So that will be February 17th. That'll be February 17th at 9 o'clock for docket day in case 24 CF 1798. I believe Mr. Harper has 3 cases for Mr. Coward as well. So when Mr. Harper's here, we'll bring you back out. So.
I'm sorry about that, Judge. I should have grabbed Mr. Harper there.
Okay. All right.
See you
So
Monday.
both sides are ready for trial, and we'll see you on the 17th. See where we are then.
See you
Okay?
next week. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't see Mr. Harper here, so we've got 3 cases with Mr. Harper and Mr. Coward. Mr. Harsher for Mr. Henderson.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Justin Harsher on behalf of DeMarcus Smith this morning, Your Honor. This is case number 23 CF 1162.
I'm
We
sure
were
he'll
waiting
be
for
out
him to come
momentarily.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
What's his name?
DeMarcus Smith.
15? DeMarcus Smith?
Yes.
I was told he refused to transport.
Oh, I do have him down as, I was informed he refused transport today.
That makes sense, Your Honor. I've had discussions with him every time that he's been in court previously. He knows we're setting this case for trial. We recently had a motion to suppress that was denied, so he knows this is the next step for the case. And that's my anticipation today, is that we're going to be setting this case for trial.
Okay. So defense is ready for trial?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor, we will be.
Okay. Then, do I need to set the case on the 17th? That'll be the last day I'll accept a negotiated plea.
Because he will need to be present for the final offer.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So he does need to agree to be transported on February 17th?
If we need to head out there to the jail and let him know that, I'll let him know.
Yeah, because the state will put their last offer on the table. That'll be the
There's
last day.
been plenty of issues with Mr. Smith's case on getting him transported.
Okay, so I'd like for him to hear the state's last offer.
Understood. Thank you,
Okay.
Judge.
Thank you. I'll see you on February 17th.
And that's at 9 o'clock, Your Honor.
It starts at 9, yes.
Thank you, Judge. I believe that's all I have.
Thank you. Ms. Graham, is Ms. Graham present? I don't see her. Mr. Lapella and Mr. Rare?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
For the record, David Rare. I'll be just myself this morning, and we've got James Harden.
All right, 23 CF 1371. I'm sure he'll be out momentarily.
Your Honor, in Mr. Harden's case, I've had a couple of follow-up conversations in the last week with Ms. Basso. We're still going to be following up on some more detailed aspects of what we've already discussed. What we spoke about doing is leaving this set for docket day for a much sooner status date than we might otherwise have, and see if we can resolve it or if we need to proceed from there. But we'd ask for the 17th day.
The state has no objection, ma'am. There are some, you need to reach out to the victims and have some discussions. We might be able to resolve it by docket day.
Okay. Then we will leave the case set for February 17th for docket day.
And Judge, I believe Mr. Harden's case is all I've got in the docket this morning.
All right. Thank you. All right, to the private attorneys, that's where my list runs out, except for Ms. Graham. I don't know if Ms. Graham is here.
Morning, Your Honor. Keith Kilpatrick representing Jennifer Hufford. She is in custody, case number 24 CF 2658. And I have a plea to attend to the court when she arrives.
All right.
And again, Judge, Ms. Hufford is present in the courtroom. She's going to execute the plea agreement by signing it. If I may approach, Your Honor.
Yes, thank you.
And I have the score sheet as well.
Thank you. See you too. All right, ma'am, if you'll just raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth? If so, say I do.
I do.
Thank you, ma'am. You can put your hand down. Could you state your name, please?
Jennifer Hufford.
Thank you. You are charged in case 24 CF 2658 with one count of possession of a controlled substance without a prescription. That's a third-degree felony. And one count of possession of drug paraphernalia. That's a first-degree misdemeanor. Have you had a chance to talk to your lawyer about those charges and any possible defenses?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you read and sign the plea agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that your signature on the back of it?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand the rights you give up when you enter a plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the services of your lawyer?
Yes.
Are you entering the plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
I have a score sheet that shows 27.4 total sentence points. Any objections?
No objection to the score sheet, Judge.
Any DNA?
Not that we know of.
I do find a sufficient factual basis based on the arrest report. Ma'am, if you're not a U.S. citizen, do you understand that the plea could subject you to deportation?
Yeah.
How do you plead to counts 1 and 2?
No contest.
I accept your plea. I find it was freely and voluntarily entered, and I will sentence you in accordance with your plea agreement. There will be an adjudication of guilt as to both charges and credit for time served, $615 in court costs. All right, and this does include a mandatory license revocation or suspension.
The court doesn't have any objection to a hardship, is that
I
correct?
do not have any objection to a hardship or business purposes only license. I just can't order the Department of Highway Safety for Motor Vehicles to give you one. But I have no objection if you're eligible. So there's nothing I can do about the mandatory driver's license suspension. It's in the statute.
How long is the suspension?
6 months. It's a 6 months driver's license suspension, but it's by statute. The DMV will deal with that. But by the court not having any objection, then you'll be entitled to more than likely a hardship. Judge, she's got to be transported over to Santa Rosa County. How long can she have before she signs up for the partial payment plan? Can she have 30 days from the date of her release?
30 days from the date of release, but I don't know how the clerk will know when she's released from Escambia.
That's Santa Rosa.
Oh, Santa Rosa.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Ma'am, if you'll just bring in some documentation when you go see the clerk and show them. So, yeah, sign up for the payment plan, and that will help you stay on track so your license doesn't get suspended for unpaid fines on top of the mandatory suspension, okay? You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court. If you can't afford a lawyer, I'll appoint one for you. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. That's all my business.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I need my court interpreter. She's not here, she stepped out for a second.
Okay.
That's Mr. Barona, Your Honor. I think we have to delay it for maybe 5 minutes or so until she comes back.
Okay.
She was sitting here 10 minutes ago.
Okay, I'll go ahead and take, who's the next private attorney that showed up? Mr. Noops?
Judge, the first case I've got is Mr. Belo.
Okay.
Judge, he's actually got a Crestview case that's being transferred down, which is a new case. Christopher Belo.
23 CF 2001 and 23 CF 2029. And then he has another one.
Which is 24 CF 2666. I don't think there's been an order transferring it yet, but the state and I spoke yesterday. not that we are for sure that we can get it landed on the 17th, but we'd just like to leave it set for hopes that we can.
All right. Do you want to set it on all three cases?
Yeah, all three if I can.
All right. So if the state could send an order to Judge Oberleeson to get that new case transferred down, then we can hear all three of them on Monday.
Absolutely, Your Honor.
Okay.
I text Leona yesterday, and she told me it was being transferred. She didn't, but there's nothing been filed yet, not even a motion, but.
Okay.
So, Mr. Belo, I was telling her that your Crestview case is being transferred down and that we just want to leave all three of these set for next Monday, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you for your patience. Sorry, Mr. Nopes, go ahead.
I was just telling him that we're putting everything for Monday, and we're gonna add the Crestview case number to it as well.
Okay, so hopefully that'll get,
I'm
the
hoping.
state could, in Crestview, could file a motion, send an order to Judge Oberleeson. We can
Yep,
get that
absolutely.
Crestview case transferred down here. All right, February 17th. We'll see you then.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Judge, the next case I've got is Elliott Bell.
Okay, 24 CF 992, 24 CF 993, 24 CF 1096.
Judge, I filed a motion for statement of particulars on November 26th. I'm not sure if I did it in all the cases, but I'm pretty sure it was in the 24 CF 1096 case. That was filed November 26th, and I hadn't received a response. Additionally, this is one of the 16 co-defendants or whatever. I had given the state a hard drive, a 2 terabyte hard drive, and then nothing ever got put on it, but then I've gone back and gotten it because I've learned that it needs to be 4 terabyte. So today I've given the state a 4 terabyte hard drive. And we have deposition scheduled for February 27th, all-day deposition with a number of lawyers. The only thing I'm asking the court to do is, or what I want to inquire about, is I think you've got a miscellaneous day on 2/18.
Yes.
Can I have a bond hearing for him then? He's been in jail since February on super high bonds. We had a pretrial detention hearing, and he just feels like, since the state's not giving us anything to review in discovery.
Just 1 second. Whose ever phone that was, please step out or turn off your phone. Go ahead.
But he just wants a bond hearing. I mean, he's
Okay.
frustrated, and I don't blame him.
All right, February 18th, we will set a bond hearing. You need to file a written motion if you would, please.
Yes, ma'am, I will.
Okay.
As far as, I think it's probably best to continue it because the depots aren't until the 27th, and by the time they're over with, then I file a motion to have it transcribed and get the transcripts. I think it just needs to be continued.
Okay, so we will set our next pretrial, we'll go ahead and set it for April 14th. And we will set Mr. Bell on February 18th, which is next Tuesday, I believe, for a bond hearing on the motion you're going to file.
I'll get that file today or tomorrow.
All right. Thank you.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Anything further on Mr. Bell?
Judge, that's all I got on Mr. Bell. I
Okay.
forgot, I told him I'd give him some documents. Thought I was done. Judge, then I got Alicia Dean.
Okay. Let me see who court security's bringing up. Oh, she's out of custody. Okay. Oops. All right.
Sorry, Judge. I'm sorry about that.
No problem.
Judge,
Hawkins, Rashad, I'm sorry.
this is Rashad Hawkins. We've got 2 additional witnesses to depose on Friday. I don't know, it's up to the court. If you want to put it on for Monday, docket day, to see if anything changes after we talk to these witnesses, I'm fine with that.
Let's do that. Because this case is a year old. I know it's serious charges, but February 17th, we'll see where we are after the depots.
Yes, ma'am.
And the case numbers are 24 CF 409 and 24 CF 411.
And then back to Ms. Dean, did you get the document? Okay. Judge, she's trying to, I'm gonna have to pass her for a little bit.
That's
I'll
fine.
explain if you want me to, but.
No, that's
okay.
fine. Take your time.
Just wait.
Mr. Grant, I believe is your.
He's a juvenile, so they may not be able to.
He's not up right now, just.
Okay.
Gregory Johnson.
That's 23 CF 778 and 23 CF 779. Gregory Johnson.
Judge, I had filed a motion to withdraw on November 27th, I think. But I guess my office didn't send an order to you. We realized that yesterday and we sent it. And I think we got an email back from your JA saying you'd look at it today.
Yes. So you still moving to withdraw?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Mr. Johnson, your attorney has moved to withdraw from representation.
That's fine.
Do you object? You don't object to
No,
him
I don't,
withdrawing?
ma'am. May I speak?
All I need to know is, do you object or consent to him withdrawing?
I don't object to him. Ma'am, I've been here 22 months and have not seen a discovery package. 22 months.
I'm granting your attorney's motion to withdraw, and I'm going to appoint new counsel for you, okay? So just bear with me. Who's next on our list of attorneys? Mr. Williams is on this one. Mr. Cobb, is he on the list? Okay. I'm going to appoint Mr. Cobb, Jason Cobb, as your counsel.
Judge, if it's okay, just disregard those other 2 or the other order I sent you, and I'll put all the information in this. That way you won't have to add anything.
That would be most appreciated. So Mr. Cobb was here earlier, but he finished his cases. He already left. He will be notified he's been appointed to represent you, okay?
So what do I have to do to get my discovery?
Discuss that with-
It's been 22 months.
Sir, I just appointed a new attorney for you, so that's something you'll discuss with him, okay? He'll be notified.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Your next court date, sir, is going to be April 16th. Okay?
Judge, we do have the juvenile upstairs, Grant.
Okay?
Judge, Mr. Grant's case, we're in communication with the state attorney's office, and we've agreed at this point a tentative April 15th date for depositions. There's probably,
Okay, this is 24 CF 2054, and your client's name is Sequelan Grant?
that is correct, Your Honor.
Okay, and you mentioned depositions.
Judge, there's been a tentative date. We haven't heard back from the state, but where we landed at is it looks like it's going to be April 15th
For the depositions?
for depositions. And then I just in the last month, I think, got an investigator appointed, and I met with him last Thursday. He's going to be to the jail. He's gotten all the discovery from us, and he's going to go to the jail and meet with Mr. Grant as well, probably sometime this week or next.
Okay. And State?
Your Honor, that is correct. We've been in communications to schedule depositions. They will be all-day depositions. Thought we had responded to April 15th date is okay, but I'll double check on that, so we should have all-day depositions.
I'll tell my office, I mean, he looked again this morning, he said he didn't see a response.
Would you like me to put this on the April 16th docket?
I think that'd be fine.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, great. April 16th for pretrial conference.
Very good, thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
I'll be this weekend, okay?
Mario Z.
Mr. Johnson?
Mario Z.
Judge, if I could put this on for Monday, I'm hoping I can bring it in for a landing.
That would be great. This is Mr. Mario Lee, 23 CF 148, 24 CF 1547, and I just appointed you on 24 CF 2495. So we will set all three of those cases for February 17th docket day.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Judge. Who's the next one? William Thornton. Judge, on Mr. Thornton's case, 21 CF 1471, 23 CF 650, and 23 CF 2447. Judge, he's asked me to file a motion to have his bond readdressed. When he went to first appearance, he, at that point, was the analysis of the people that were doing first appearance, and, you know, they told the judge then that he was a violent felony offender of special concern. Turns out that he wasn't, and so we're going to file a motion and ask the court to reconsider his bond because the state stipulated in December that he was not a violent felony offender of special concern.
Could we approach on this case, Your Honor?
Sure, come on up.
Hi, I'm Wanda Roberts. For the last 20 years, I've been helping the residents of Northwest Florida buy and sell their properties. My office is just 1 block south of the courthouse in historic downtown Crestview. Give us a call at 850-398-5389.
Hi, I'm Michael Gilbert, defense attorney with Warrior Law. I represent those accused in Santa Rosa, Okaloosa, and Walton County. If you or anyone you know has been accused of a crime, give us a call. We can help.
All right, so Mr. Nopes, go ahead and file a motion. We will set Mr. Thornton on the docket for February 18th. That's the miscellaneous day for your anticipated motion to take a look at his bond situation.
I'll do that, Your Honor.
Okay, and then the state is going to reach out to my office to schedule a contested hearing on the VOP case, which is 21 CF 1471. Schedule that for a contested hearing. And then do you want me to go ahead and just put all the cases on the April 14th docket?
That'd be fine, Judge.
Okay.
No objection.
All right. So, sir, I'll see you on February the 18th. So we don't need to set it on the 17th then?
No. Okay.
All right. February 18th, miscellaneous docket for an anticipated bond hearing, and then all the cases will be set on April 14th for pretrial, but with the anticipation that the state will reach out and hopefully
bail bonds. Our office is in Crestview, Florida, but we service 7 Northwest Florida counties. If you ever find yourself in a jam, please give us a call. We're here to help you out.
Congratulations, Crestview's very own Dixie Dan Powell of Powell Injury Law, for your recent jury verdict of $11.5 million for your client from a death and injury against an inflatable amusement company. Recognized in 2017 as one of the top 100 civil trial lawyers in the state of Florida, and Dixie is AV preeminent rated. Dixie Dan Powell works tirelessly for his clients, as is evident by this extraordinary verdict. If you're taking your case to trial, be prepared. Contact Dixie Dan Powell and Powell Injury Law, 850-306-2667.
Backroom Bakery Cafe is 2 blocks from the courthouse on Crestview's historic Main Street. We serve handmade pastries, espresso, and lunch items, and we're open Tuesday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m., serving lunch from 11 to 2. We hope to see you soon.
All right. Good morning, I'm Judge Clark. And I'm noting, so that our record is clear, we do have a Spanish language interpreter present who is simultaneously interpreting as I'm speaking. Mr. Catalinic, are you ready for trial in this case?
I'm ready for trial.
All right. Is the state ready for trial?
Your Honor, the state's ready for trial.
All right. I noticed that the case is 14 months old.
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir, it's my understanding that your case is ready for trial. It's also my understanding that you may have expressed an intent to hire a different attorney. I'm trying to figure out what your plan is with your attorney. Are you going to remain with Mr. Catalinic?
Quiero contactar a otro abogado, pero no quiero ir a juicio. No, no ahorita mismo.
I'm not ready to go to trial. I would like to hire an attorney.
You're free to do that, but I am not continuing your case.
Pero no voy a aplazar su caso.
Both sides are ready for trial. This case is old, so you're welcome to hire a new attorney, but that attorney must be ready to go to trial. I will not grant a continuance just because you wish to hire an attorney at the last minute, sir. There has been plenty of time for discovery. Your lawyer filed a motion to suppress and had it heard. That was denied. He's done everything to be ready for trial, and the state is ready as well.
Y si voy a juicio, ¿cuánto tiempo puedo agarrar? ¿Cuánto tiempo me van a dar un cambio?
If I do go to trial, how long will I be in jail for?
I cannot answer that, sir. That's a discussion with your attorney.
Well, Your Honor, if I may, there's a minimum mandatory of 15 years, and there's an exposure to 30 years, unless I'm wrong.
That's correct. And the state's current offer is 7 years at this point.
Do you understand what the maximum possible penalty is?
Sí.
Yes.
Y no hay probabilidad de que pueda agarrar como menos de 7 años.
Is there a probability that could be less than 7 years?
I cannot answer that. All I can tell you is what the state has offered.
Your 7 years is the best offer the defendant's going to get from the state.
If the defendant gets a different attorney, would that alone change your offer?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Catalinic, how do you wish to proceed? Do you need some time to talk to your client, or do you want me to set it for Monday?
Your Honor, I think the best thing to do would be to set it for Monday and to see if he gets an attorney on Monday. And this way we can figure everything out. Hopefully there's some closure on Monday. Do we have court on Monday?
Yes.
Yes.
That would be docket day,
Very well.
February 17th.
And I think that'll give him some time to talk to his family, because I believe his family talked to him, had a lot to do with him rejecting the 7 years. And it'll give him time to talk to his family and retain another attorney. I understand that his brother's also held, and he has an attorney. Maybe they will hire the same attorney. I'm not sure.
Okay. I just want to make sure that Mr. Barona-Figueroa, that if you fire your current counsel and you hire a brand-new attorney, that is not going to entitle you to a continuance. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. We will schedule you for February 17th, docket day. On that day, I'll ask the state to put their offer clearly on the record. I'll go over the offer and make sure that Mr. Barona-Figueroa understands it, and then we'll see where we are with the attorney situation.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you.
I believe that's all I have.
Just for clarification, this is set with subpoenas.
Okay, so that's with subs. So it'll be plea or trial. All right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
With subpoenas, correct. The state is issuing subpoenas.
Ok.
Okay.
Sí, pero si para el lunes siempre va a estar disponible por algún caso u otro los 7 años. Que si por alguna razón u otra siempre va a estar disponible la oferta.
So, one way or another, my offer is those 7 years?
Yes.
That's correct.
That will be good through Monday?
Yes, that offer will be open until Monday.
All right, Monday will be the last day I'll accept a negotiated plea.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's
Thank
all I
you.
have. Yes.
Ms. Graham?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Tricia Graham, I have 3 cases on the docket today. First is Samantha Allen in case 24CF1105. My understanding is that it was already addressed with her other attorney, Ms. Dudley. She has another case.
Actually, we did not address your case. We only addressed Ms. Dudley's case.
Okay. So is Ms. Allen still here? I
She
believe?
is.
She's downstairs.
It might take a little while because they have to bring them up in batches. So
Okay.
let's go ahead and address your other cases.
Okay. So we can do, I have Michael Knox in custody, 24CF57. May I have a moment, Your Honor?
Sure.
Your Honor, may we recall that Ms. Herndon was not present at the moment, so we need to recall that.
Okay. Just 1 second until,
If I may recall my other 2 cases, that would be great.
yes,
Thank
we
you,
need to
Judge.
wait till Deputy Flores comes up.
Okay.
The state isn't present for the, we need to wait for Ms. Herndon to come back, for Mr. Knox. We have to wait for Ms. Herndon to come back in the courtroom before we can address Mr. Knox.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Who do you have up next?
They're getting Miss Roach from downstairs, Samantha.
Okay.
And then that's it for regional counsel, so room.
Okay. Just to make sure, Ms. Graham, are you the only private attorney left? Is there anybody, any other private attorneys that you're aware of?
Not aware of anybody else.
Great, so Mr. Harper's cases will be next after yours.
Okay.
Thank you. And I show that you have Mr. Rogers as well on the docket.
Yes, Your Honor. We have a negotiated plea on that one as well.
Okay.
Hello, I am Bonnie from Body Be Healthy here in Crestview. We have been serving the area since 1999. We're an alternative health food store. If you're interested in bettering your health, we'd like to invite you to stop by. We're located in Fort Plaza. Stop by and let us help you be healthy.
And does
The
Mr.
Crestview
Noakes still
Coney
here
Island.
show that we still have one of his cases on the docket?
That's me.
All right, this is 24 CF 1105.
Yes, Your Honor. Samantha Allen is present. Tricia Graham on behalf of Samantha Allen. This was a case that was addressed with her other attorney in a different, she has a violation of probation. This is part of the multiple co-defendant case, and it's ongoing discovery. There are depositions scheduled for the end of February. I've discussed that with my client, would request that this case be continued to keep it on track to the next pretrial.
All right, that would be April 16th at 9.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Sure, thank you.
I just have 2 more matters, and
Thank you.
Mr. Harper, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Are you ready? I'm gonna bring up Nicole Howell.
Okay.
Nicole Howell.
Judge, this is Nicole Howell, if I may have just a moment so she can go over this
Okay.
with me. Okay, so.
24 CF 95 and 24 CF 2448.
Judge, we're doing a plea to a lesser included, so I don't know if the state has a score sheet reflecting that modification today, so they might file it later.
I've got one I'm editing right this second.
Your Honor, if I may, Rudy Harper on behalf of Nicole Howell, she was before the court on 24 CF 2448 and 24 CF 95. At this time, she's going to withdraw her previously entered plea, enter a plea of no contest, as well as admit the violations of probation. This will be a plea to a lesser included offense in 24 CF 2448, count 1, to possession of paraphernalia. The section number is 893.147. Her supervision in 2495, 24 CF 95 will be revoked and terminated. Should be adjudicated guilty. Sentenced to 11 months and 29 days in the Okaloosa County Jail. Credit for all time served to run concurrent. Should be assessed $270 in court costs, $150 cost of defense. I think there's a $100 violation of probation fee. She is asking for 18 months to pay the costs, otherwise they'll be sent to judgment, and she has signed it for May 1st.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Ma'am, if you'll raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth? If so, say I do.
I do.
Thank you, ma'am. You can put your hand down. If you'll just state your name, please.
Nicole Howell.
Thank you. Have you had a chance to talk to your attorney about the allegations that you violated your probation in 24 CF 9-5 and also the new charges in 24 CF 2448, possession of a controlled substance and possession of paraphernalia?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you had a chance to read and sign the plea agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that your signature on the back?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand the rights you give up when you enter a plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you entering the plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you happy with the services of your lawyer?
Yes, ma'am.
Did he answer all of your questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Has anybody forced you to enter the plea today?
No, ma'am.
Have you had any drugs, alcohol, medicine, anything that affects your ability to understand what's going on?
No, ma'am.
And that score sheet, will you be filing that, or you're working on it right now?
I
Okay.
am, bring it up here, Mr. Harper. That's okay. I think it's-
Ma'am, do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes, thank
This is a stipulated downward departure pursuant to the negotiated plea.
Okay. I have a score sheet that shows, is that 30.5 total sentence points?
Yes, I believe so,
Okay.
Judge.
Any objections or corrections?
No, Judge.
Okay, actually, can I, if this is the corrected, then this probably.
This is, I think it should be 30.
Okay. If the corrected score sheet only shows 30 sentence points, then it wouldn't be DOC, would it?
It's 46 points.
As to 24 CF 95, I do find a sufficient factual basis based on the arrest report.
Judge, I apologize, I think it's a math problem. I don't think any of us went to school for math.
No problem, no problem. Okay, I show 46.5 total sentence points.
Yes, ma'am.
Any objections or corrections?
No, ma'am.
All right, and then, I'm not sure that would even score, but barely scored DOC, just barely. Any DNA?
Not to my knowledge, Judge.
Ma'am, in 24 CF 2448, how do you plead to the lesser included charge of possession of drug paraphernalia on count 1, and then count 2 is also possession of paraphernalia, both misdemeanors?
No contest.
I accept your plea in that case and find it was freely and voluntarily entered. And in case 24 CF 95, do you admit to violating your probation as alleged in the affidavit?
Yes.
All right, I accept your admission. I find it was freely and voluntarily entered. In 24 CF 95, That's the violation of probation. There will be an adjudication of guilt on all counts, and I will sentence you in accordance with your plea agreement, 11 months, 29 days in the Okaloosa County Jail, credit for all time served. There would be a $100 VOP fee, a $150 public defender fee, cost of defense, and all costs must be paid within 18 months or will be sent to judgment. You need to go see the clerk within 30 days after you get out to get on a payment plan. And then in case 24 CF 2448, is there an adjudication of guilt on both of the misdemeanors?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Adjudication of guilt on the lesser included offense on count 1 of possession of paraphernalia, also an adjudication of guilt of possession of paraphernalia as charged on count 2, and 11 months, 29 days county jail concurrent with the other case, all counts, and $270 court costs, is that right? And on that case, there'd be a $100 public defender fee. Any other terms and conditions that I have left out?
No, ma'am. Just revoking and terminating her supervision.
Revoking and terminating supervision in 24 CF 95. I believe there's a mandatory driver's license suspension associated with the 2 felony charges in 24 CF 95.
It's my understanding that the Department of Motor Vehicles can suspend someone's license, but I don't know if it's necessarily always the case.
Okay, well, if it's mandated by statute, I would have no control over it. It's not something I could waive.
Yes.
Do you understand that? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Ma'am, you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court. If you cannot afford a lawyer, I'll appoint one for you. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we have Mr. Knox or Tricia Grant, but
Yes, Your Honor. Recalling Tricia Graham on behalf of Michael Knox in case 24 CF 57. I believe we have a resolution to this case, Your Honor.
That's great news. All right.
That's correct, Your Honor. The state will be announcing a no cross in this case.
All right.
And we will follow up with a written filing as well, Ms. Graham.
Thank you. The
Thank
state
you.
is dismissing all counts, all charges in case 24 CF 57 today. And may Mr. Knox be released today? There's nothing else holding him?
Yeah, I don't know what else is holding him. I know there's a CT case and a misdemeanor case, but I don't know.
Those have been resolved.
Oh, they have? Well, if the state just announced a null pros in 24 CF 57, then I don't know what else might be holding you, but certainly wouldn't be the case that just got dropped. So, good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, and Ms. Graham, I think you have Mr. Rogers, I believe.
Yes, next I have Christopher Rogers. Your Honor, he's present in court. This was a juvenile that was in a commitment program. He was recently released a few days ago. We had worked out a resolution before, but that was kind of in limbo based on his program. I do have a negotiated plea, if I may approach.
Yes. Thank you.
And he is present with his grandmother, Miss Gray, who's present in the court. And I've had extensive conversations with his mother, and Miss Gray was present during the signing of this as well. I don't know if you would like me to outline the terms, or you, Your Honor, do that. I apologize.
I think I've got it. Christopher, if you'll just raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth? If so, say, I do.
I do.
Great, thank you. You can put your hand down. If you'll state your name for me and spell your last name.
Christopher Rogers, R-O-G-E-R-S.
Spell that one more time. There's a door making some noise.
Rogers.
Rogers, no D.
No, ma'am.
Okay, and the case numbers are 23 CF 2116 and 23 CF 2466. It looks
Your
like
Honor,
in one of those cases,
Sorry to interrupt, you did say the wrong case number.
23,
23 CF 2166? I think you said 211. I apologize.
is 2116?
Is it?
2116, that's actually what.
I have 2166. Is that my error?
The clerk reflects it as 2116.
That is my error, so.
No problem. 23 CF 2116 and 23 CF 2466. And it looks like in the 2116, Mr. Rogers' last name is misspelled. It has a D in it. So I just want to make sure that we have the same person.
And just for the record, I have the correct case number in the plea agreement, just not
Yes,
at
you
the
do.
top. Not at the top. I think it says 26, so
I
just.
fixed it. No problem. No
Thank
problem. Christopher, how old are you?
17,
Okay. And when's your birthday?
March 23rd.
So you'll be 18 in March next month?
Yes, ma'am.
How far did you go in school?
I'm finna get my GED.
Okay. Have you had a chance to talk to your lawyer, Ms. Graham, about the charges in both of these cases?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand what the plea agreement says?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you read it?
Yes, ma'am.
Is this your signature on the last page?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there anything you didn't understand when you were reading the plea agreement? Oh, I need you to answer.
No, ma'am.
The charges in this case are in 23 CF 2466, one count of grand theft auto, that's a third-degree felony, one count of burglary of a conveyance armed, that looks like a first-degree felony, and one count of possession of a firearm by a minor, and that's a misdemeanor. And then in 23 CF 2116, that's a trafficking in fentanyl charge, which is also a first-degree felony. Did you have a chance to talk to Ms. Graham about all of those charges?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you discuss with her any ways you might have to fight the case?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand the rights you give up when you enter a plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Understand you're giving up your right to have a trial and make the state prove all those charges against you?
Yes, ma'am.
Is anybody forcing you to make you enter a plea?
No, ma'am.
Is anybody promising you anything that's not written in your plea agreement?
No, ma'am.
Are you happy with the services of your lawyer?
Yes, ma'am.
Did she answer all of your questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there anything that she told you that you don't understand?
No, ma'am.
I do have a score sheet that shows 22.2 total sentence points. Any objections or corrections?
No, Your Honor.
In 23 CF 2466, it looks like you are pleading to count 1 grand theft auto and count 3 possession of a firearm by a minor. How do you plead to those 2 charges?
Yes, ma'am. No contest.
All right, and does the state have an announcement as to count 2 in that case?
We do, Your Honor. We're announcing a null toss as well as a null toss in 23 CF 2116.
All right. I accept your plea on counts 1 and 3 in case 23 CF 2466. I find it was freely and voluntarily entered, and I will sentence you in accordance with your plea agreement. There will be an adjudication withheld, so you're not going to be a convicted felon on those, on the felony charge. Adjudication withheld on both counts that he pled to, and you will be placed on probation for 3 years as to count 1 and 1 year as to count 3. Those will run concurrent, meaning at the same time.
Yes, ma'am.
You are to maintain gainful employment or submit job applications every week or be a full-time student. You cannot have any drugs without a prescription. You will be randomly tested at your expense. You shall not possess any firearms. You are to have no contact with the victim. Is that Natasha Harrison?
Yes, I believe it is.
Yes, that's.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay. No contact with Natasha Harrison. That means no contact directly or indirectly. There's $500 restitution to Miss Natasha Henderson that is ordered. It is jointly and severally with co-defendants, meaning you may be stuck paying all of it or some of it. Either you or any of the co-defendants could be stuck paying all of it. The court costs are $515, is that accurate? And then you're court appointed, Ms. Graham, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, there is a $150 cost of defense. That includes the application fee. And you may apply for early termination after 2 years, but let's talk about that. You need to have completed everything, paid everything, and not had any violations.
Yes, ma'am.
So don't apply for early termination if you violated your probation.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? But if you have been a model probationer after 2 years and you've taken care of everything, paid off all your fines and court costs and restitution, so that restitution will have to be paid in full too. Then if you've not had any violations, you've done everything, then you can go ahead and apply for early termination. If the state objects, we'll have a hearing. And if no one objects, then we may not even need to have a hearing as long as I can verify that you haven't had violations and you've taken care of everything.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court. And if you can't afford a lawyer, I'll appoint one for you. Good luck to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. I believe that concludes my cases. May I be excused?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
It's going to be Ms. Webb for Harper.
And I think I saw Mr. Nopes. I know he has one remaining on the docket, so. Mr. Nopes, are you ready on your case?
Not quite.
That's fine. Just let us know when you are. All right, Mr. Harper, are you ready to start on yours?
Yes, Judge. I think we're going to bring out a female first, Andrea Wade, who is number 52 on my docket.
Okay.
You may have just one moment.
24 CF 1796.
Judge Rudy Harper, on behalf of Andrea Wade, she's before the court on 24 CF 1796. At this time, she's going to withdraw her previously entered plea and enter a plea of no contest. This will be an adjudication of guilt, 18 months of probation, $515 in court costs, $150 cost of defense, attending complete an anti-theft course, have no trespassing at Walmart. There's restitution to Walmart in the amount of $1,093.71. She has a term of probation to do that. She is asking for the court's consideration in waiving her cost of supervision in that she's anticipating giving birth, but she might have to substantiate her financial condition with probation to do that. But I just wanted to announce it on the record, Judge.
What's probation's position on the cost of supervision? There was a request for a waiver of cost of supervision, and I would like to find out what probation thinks about that.
Your Honor, I'm just going to write that on here real fast.
Okay. What would be the time frame to complete the anti-theft course, or at least enroll in it and then complete?
Your Honor, I would say complete within the first 120 days, if that's okay.
When is your baby due?
In July, but I'm high risk, so I might go in May.
Okay. Why don't we just say, Mr. Harper, within the first year? No, I just don't want you to wait till the very end.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? So you will have to complete that within the first year of probation, do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. All right, ma'am, just raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth? If so, say I do.
I do.
Thank you. You can put your hand down. If you'll state your name, please.
Andrea Wade.
Thank you. Ma'am, you're charged with 1 count of retail theft in concert with others. That's a third-degree felony. Have you had a chance to talk to your lawyer about that charge and any possible defenses?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you read and sign the plea agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that your signature on the back?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand the rights you give up when you enter a plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Is anybody forcing you to enter the plea today?
No, ma'am.
Are you happy with the services of your lawyer?
Yes, ma'am.
Did he answer all of your questions?
Yes, ma'am.
I do have a score sheet that shows 34 total sentence points. Any objections or corrections?
No objections, Judge.
Okay. Any DNA?
Not to my knowledge, Judge.
I do find a sufficient factual basis based on the arrest report. Ma'am, if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea could subject you to deportation. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to 1 count of retail theft in concert with others?
No contest.
I accept your plea. I find it was freely and voluntarily entered, and I will sentence you in accordance with your plea agreement. There will be an adjudication of guilt, 18 months probation, $515 court costs, $150 cost of defense. There will be an anti-theft course that you must successfully complete within the first year of probation. You are to have no trespassing at Walmart whatsoever, and $1,093.71 restitution to Walmart. That needs to be paid at some point during your probation. Probation has been generous enough to waive the cost of supervision. That'll save you, I believe, around $40 a month. And did I leave out any terms and conditions?
No, ma'am.
All right. Ma'am, you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court. If you can't afford a lawyer, I'll appoint one for you. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You need to report within 12 hours of your release or next business morning if it's in the afternoon.
Judge, they're going to bring out Mr. Cook. Chronologically on the dockets, I have an Amber Igret, but she was continuing the motion in order because of depots that are set in March.
Yes, I did sign an order on Ms. Agret, and those are case numbers 24 CF 1807 and 24 CF 1808. Those cases were reset for April 16th, I believe.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
This is Mr. Cook, if I may just have a moment.
Sure.
Judge, we reviewed that. I just want to make sure that he's pleading and he's agreeing to it today.
Okay.
Judge Rudy Harper, on behalf of Desmond Cook, 24 CF 2220. At this time, he's going to withdraw his previously entered plea and enter a plea of no contest. This will be a plea to a lesser included offense of felony battery as to count 1. I believe the statute number is 784.03. This will be a withhold of adjudication. He'll be placed on 3 years of probation. I think the court cost is $867. $150 cost of defense. He has to attend and complete an anger management class and do a basic driver improvement class. I think that's offered online, I'm not certain, but have no contact with the victim, Mariah Bell. Restitution in amounts of $3,752 to be paid at the amount of $110 per month to Mariah Bell. On count 2, which is a second-degree misdemeanor, it would be 6 months of probation concurrent. His total probation is 3 years. If I may approach, Judge?
Yes.
Judge, I just realized that this score sheet is for the original offense, is not for the lesser included. So I don't know if the state's going to provide a score sheet later. If I may approach?
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. All right, Mr. Cook, if you'll just raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth? If so, say, "I do."
I do.
Thank you, sir. You can put your hand down. You'll state your name for me.
Desmond Cook,
All right, are you Desmond Cook Jr.?
Jr.
Thank you. Sir, you're charged with 1 count of aggravated battery using a deadly weapon and 1 count of leaving the scene of an accident with more than $50 in damage. Did you have a chance to talk to your lawyer about those charges and any possible defenses you might have?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you read and sign the plea agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that your signature on the back?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand the rights you give up when you enter a plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you entering the plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you happy with the services of your lawyer?
Yes, ma'am.
Did he answer all of your questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there any DNA?
Not to my knowledge, Judge.
I do find a sufficient factual basis in the arrest report. Sir, if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea could subject you to deportation. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. And I know the score sheet will be up in just a second. I will go ahead and proceed. You heard your attorney announce the terms of the agreement. Is there anything your attorney announced that you disagree with or didn't understand?
No, ma'am.
All right. No contact means no contact. Indirectly, directly, that means you can't contact her through social media. You can't ask somebody else to contact her for you. Do you understand all that?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, the only caveat to that, if I may, is that it's possible that insurance might cover some of these particular issues like restitution. So but he's not to have any contact. Insurance might become involved, but he's not to have direct.
Right. The court would not consider an insurance company contacting her to be any type of violation. In fact, I would be happy if insurance comes in and helps out with the damage that she has suffered. 867, is that correct? Okay. All right. Any time frame to start the anger management or the driver improvement?
Your Honor, if we could have 120 days.
To start both?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, sir, you have to start both of those classes within 120 days after you're released, and you must successfully complete both of them. And the restitution is $110 per month. You understand that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And I'm going to sentence you in accordance with the agreement. That's withhold of adjudication, 3 years probation on count 1. It's a lesser included offense. How do you plead to the lesser included offense of felony battery on count 1?
Plead no contest.
All right, and count 2, leaving the scene of an accident. How do you plead?
No contest.
I accept your plea. I find it was freely and voluntarily entered. 3 years probation on count 1, withhold adjudication, $867 court costs, $150 cost of defense, anger management class, and basic driver improvement class, both of which must be successfully completed, and you must begin those classes within 120 days. No contact with Mariah Bell. Restitution to Mariah Bell of $3,752 at the rate of $110 per month. And on count 2, 6 months probation concurrent with count 1. So this is withhold adjudication on both?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And the score sheet shows 4.4 total sentence points. Any objections or
No
corrections?
objections, Judge.
All right. You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court. If you cannot afford a lawyer, I'll appoint one for you. Good luck to you. You must report to probation within 24 hours of your release. Okay?
Judge, before we call the next one out, can I call Jordan Couch, number 40 on the docket?
Yes.
He is out of custody and
He's still out of custody.
I just spoke to him, Judge. I'll find him.
Okay.
If I could pass Mr. Couch. The next one is, I don't know if we have,
We're going to do Trayvon Coward.
okay.
Yes. Mine is Knox cases.
All right, case 2020 CF 2490, 2020 CF 2999, and 23 CF 52. Tremont Coward.
Yes, Judge. I believe that Mr. Coward also has a case with Robert Dees.
We did handle that case already.
Yes, ma'am. And I've concluded discovery on these particular cases that I have a while ago. He just got this new, more serious charge in the interim. I think that if we could track this with the rest of his cases and bring him back on docket day.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Dees announced ready for trial in his case, so we set it for February 17th for docket day. So we will set all three of your cases of Mr. Coward's on docket day, February 17th as well. All right. Anything else I need to address for Mr. Coward? Okay, thank you.
Your Honor, if I can recall Jordan Couch, he must have just stepped out.
Okay.
He is number 40 on the docket. And can we approach him, Mr. Couch?
Yes.
Burgers and hot dogs has permeated the downtown area. If you have not experienced the unique flavor of Crestview's Coney Island's burgers and hot dogs, then I encourage you to join us for lunch. Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. till 3 p.m., Friday from 10 a.m. till 4 p.m., and Saturday from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. We're located in historic downtown Crestview at 107 North Main Street. Call 850-683-1045.
In light of that, Judge, I would ask for a full cycle continuance on Mr. Couch.
Okay, I'm going to read out the case numbers just so our record is clear. 23 CF 2687, 24 CF 1828, 24 CF 1829, 24 CF 1837, 24 CF 1885, 24 CF 2160, 24 CF 2161, 24 CF 2859, and 24 CF 2860.
Your Honor, sorry, hello. Rachel Farkas with the Public Defender's Office. Jordan Couch had a case that was assigned to our office, and we filed a motion to withdraw. We filed a motion to withdraw, and I think it was filed either yesterday or today. The docket is 25 CF 0077. So I'm assuming that Mr. Harper will be assigned that case as well. We have a conflict with the co-defendant.
Okay, well, in light of that, then I will go ahead and relieve the Office of the Public Defender in case 25 CF 77 and appoint Mr. Harper to that case as well.
Thank you, Judge. And I'm sure that the PD has filed the motion in order.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Yes, yesterday we did. Sorry.
Okay. And Judge, that was April?
Yes, we will, I will grant your request based on the information that you shared. I do find there are grounds at the moment. So we will set this for April 14th. That's pretrial at 9 o'clock. And Ms. Gaynor, I know you're going to follow up on that information. And if you need to file a motion, then
The state will do so, Your Honor.
thank you. All right. April 14th, stay in touch with Mr. Harper.
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Craig Golden. Judge, this is Craig Golden before the court on 22 CF 256, 22 CF 288, and 22 CF 2095, and there's also 24 CF 2481. Judge, this was left set for last continuance. We're going to leave this set for plea or trial. I believe the case that we're going forward on with the state is 24 CF 2481. We are in continued negotiations. We're hoping to get some sort of consolidated global offer, if that's even on the table. We'd like to bring him back on docket day. And one of the complicating things is that he had a trial in 22 CF 288, count 1. That was with Judge Ketchel. So that might be a complicating factor in ultimate sentencing. But we'll try to address that in communications and bring that up before the court on Monday as well.
Actually, Judge Clark, ma'am, the case that would be set for trial would be the oldest case. It'd be the 22-2095. I believe, Mr. Harper, you announced the 24 case.
Oh, sorry,
Fair
yes.
Register.
Yes, sorry.
We were going forward on the sexual battery. And the state will be ready, and we will, of course, keep in contact with Mr. Harper prior to Monday as well.
Okay, so defense is ready and state is ready in
Yes,
case
Judge.
22 CF 256?
We've completed necessary discovery in these
So,
cases.
No, 2095, ma'am. 22 CF 2095.
All right.
He does have 3 separate cases.
Actually, I counted 4.
4.
It could very well be at this point.
Okay, so it's 22 CF 2095.
Yes, ma'am, and to be clear, the charges are the sexual battery while in custodial or familial authority, and that's 2 counts.
I apologize for misspeaking, Judge. I looked at the wrong case number.
I did too. So both sides are ready for trial in 22 CF 2095. We will set the case for February 17th. That's Monday for docket day. That will be the last day I'll accept a negotiated plea.
Thank you, ma'am.
So I'm going to ask the state to put the plea on the record, whatever the offer, if there is one, on that day. I'll make sure that Mr. Golden understands it, but that's the last day I'll accept a negotiated plea. All right. Thank you.
Judge Tyler Hales next, 21 CF 2340, 21 CF 3143, 24 CF 1522, and 24 CF 1613. Judge, I think this is set today. The court had some concerns about some of the pro se motions that he's submitted. I think he would like, at that time, he wanted to represent himself. I think that we've resolved that issue, but if the court would like to inquire, I don't think he wants to proceed forward on any of those pro se motions, but.
That's what I wanted to find out.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
Mr. Hale, I'm Judge Clark. I'm the new judge assigned to your case. And when I was reviewing your cases, in one of them, 24 CF 1613, you had filed some things back in August and September. You were wanting, you were requesting a Ferretta hearing to represent yourself.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
then I didn't see that that had been set and that the case was continuing to
Thank
go
you so
on. So I
much.
wanted to make sure that you were not interested in pursuing that, or if you are.
Yes, ma'am. So whenever that pro se motion was filed, it was just to ensure that my written demand for speedy trial wasn't waived as a nullity. However, after talking with Mr. Harper on our first meeting, we decided to change up on our pretrial strategy. So I'm in total agreement with Mr. Harper. There's no breakdown of communication or anything of the nature.
That's good to hear. Okay, so you're going to withdraw your request for self-representation at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. I just didn't want to leave that hanging out there without the court getting something
I
on the
appreciate
record
it.
that it's been addressed.
And for what it's worth, Judge, we did resolve that particular issue a while ago. I had not addressed it in front of the court, and that's my oversight.
No, that's fine. I was just looking through, and I didn't want to have something hanging out there in the record that wasn't resolved.
Yes,
clearly.
ma'am. We have depositions pending in this matter in March. However, I've conveyed a counteroffer to the state because of some possible technical issues with respect to the violations of probation. So if I can bring him back on docket day to see if we can address that, it's possible we can come to a resolution this cycle. If possible, I'd like the opportunity to do that, but otherwise, it would be moved to another court date. So I'd ask to bring him back on docket day.
Absolutely. February 17th on all of Mr. Hale's cases. And sir, we'll see you then, and then we can, if things don't get resolved on that day, then we'll put them on the.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Richard, Holac?
Judge, we've passed a couple cases, and I just didn't want to forget about them. If I could just quickly address them before we address Mr. Holac.
Sure.
Number 41 on the docket, Charles Craig. He actually wasn't transported because he's got both significant medical issues as well as some mental health issues. There is a mental health evaluation that's pending. What I'm actually going to do, not just on Mr. Craig's case, is that I will, within the next week, file a motion order requesting any available doctor within this area to have all of my cases evaluated. My efforts to get them evaluated by someone outside this jurisdiction have not been fruitful up to this point. So I would ask to continue Mr. Craig's case, and I'll get that motion filed by next week.
Any objection from the state?
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay, then how about April 16th for Mr. Craig?
Thank you, Judge.
Pre-trial? Okay.
Brittany Fain was next. That was continued by motion and order.
Yes.
He was continued to the 16th as well.
Yes, I signed an order continuing it to April 16th, both of Mr. Fain's cases.
And likewise with Mr. Freeland, his cases, he's got 3 cases. Those are also set with depositions in March, and his cases were continued to the 16th as well, Judge.
Yes, I signed a written order on that.
Thank you. This is Mr. Holac.
All right, is that 22 CF 2885?
Yes. Judge Rudy Harper, on behalf of Richard Holac, he's before the court on 22 CF 2885. At this time, he's going to withdraw his previously entered plea and enter a plea of no contest. This will be a plea as charged as to count 1. The state will announce a dismissal as to count 2. He'll be adjudicated guilty, sentenced to 25 years in the Department of Corrections. That is a minimum mandatory sentence. I've explained to him that that means day for day, and he understands that. He'll be given credit for all the time that he's already served, be assessed $515 in court costs, $150 cost of defense, restitution to the Victim Crime Compensation Fund, if owed at all, and reserve on the issue of restitution for 90 days. If I may approach, the parties have signed this agreement, Judge.
Thank you so much.
The state can announce for the record that the state has consulted with the family pursuant to Marcy's law. The family is present, is in agreement with this plea, and is not wishing to accept at this time.
Thank you. Sir, if you'll raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth? If so, say, I do.
I do.
Thank you, sir. You can put your hand down. If you'll state your name for me, please.
Richard Scott Holac.
Thank you. Sir, have you had a chance to talk about the charges and any possible defenses with your lawyer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you discussed the plea agreement with your lawyer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you read the plea agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand what it says?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is this your signature on the last page at the top?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand the rights you give up when you enter a plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand you're giving up the right to plead not guilty and have a trial by jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand you are giving up the right to make the state prove the charges beyond a reasonable doubt?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand you're giving up the right to have an attorney or to have the court appoint one if you can't afford one?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand you're giving up the right to remain silent and not incriminate yourself?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand you're giving up the right to confront witnesses against you and to have your lawyer cross-examine those witnesses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand you're giving up your right to defend yourself by calling witnesses and presenting evidence on your own behalf?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand you're giving up the right to appeal the conviction and sentence to a higher court?
Yes, Your Honor.
Understanding that you're giving up all of those rights, do you still wish to proceed with the plea agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you entering the plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is anybody forcing you or threatening you to make you enter the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anybody promised you anything that's not showing in your agreement?
No, Your Honor.
Are you happy with the services of your lawyer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did he answer all of your questions?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you need any additional time to talk to your lawyer before we move forward?
No, Your Honor.
Have you had any drugs, alcohol, medicine, any type of substance in the last 24 hours that affects your ability to understand what we're doing?
No, Your Honor.
Are you suffering from any mental illness that affects your ability to understand what's going on?
No, Your Honor.
Your Honor, if I may interject just for 1 second.
Yes.
And I understand that's not within the discretion of the states or myself or even the court. However, if it's at all possible, he would like to be housed locally. I've explained to him, again, that's not within any of our respective control, but he just wanted to announce that on the record. If the court does not have a particular objection to him being housed locally, if the record can reflect that.
State has no objection.
I would have no objection, but I cannot tell Department of Corrections where to house anybody. So I can just state on the record, I wouldn't have an objection if they elect to house you locally. Okay, and the state has voiced that they have no objection to that. Okay, but please understand the court has no control over it, okay? Does that information change your mind about proceeding with the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. I have a score sheet that shows 380.5 total sentence points. Any objection or corrections?
No, ma'am.
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Is there any exculpatory DNA?
Not to my knowledge.
Not to the knowledge of the state.
State, will you submit a summary of the factual basis? I'd like to make sure that Mr. Holac agrees there's a factual basis.
Your Honor, on or about November 12, 2022, in Okaloosa County, Florida, Mr. Holac came to the address in question with a firearm, convicted felon, and in the course of an altercation that Mr. Anthony Caneo had with others, Mr. Holac shot Mr. Caneo, resulting in his death.
You agree with that factual basis?
That is correct.
Sir, if you're not a U.S. citizen, do you understand the plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is there anything that I've asked you that you did not understand?
No, Your Honor.
Do you need any more time to talk to Mr. Harper before we move forward?
No, Your Honor.
How do you plead as to count 1, second-degree murder with a weapon?
No contest.
I accept your plea. I find it was freely and voluntarily entered. Does the state have an announcement on count 2?
The state will dismiss count 2, possession of firearm by a convicted felon, and 2,
Sir, I'm going to adjudicate you guilty on count 1, and I'm going to sentence you in accordance with your agreement. 25 years, state prison. That's a minimum mandatory sentence. You will receive credit for all time served. The amount of that credit will be computed by the Department of Corrections. There is $515 in court costs. Let me make sure that's accurate. Yes. $150 for the cost of defense. That includes the $50 application fee. You may have restitution due to the Victim Crime Compensation Fund. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to reserve jurisdiction for 90 days on that, and the attorneys will bring it up if there is, in fact, any owed. Did I leave out any terms and conditions?
I think the only thing that we would add, Judge, is if the cost gets over judgment. I don't know if the state has a position on that.
There's no objection.
All right. Costs will be reduced to a judgment. And sir, you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court. If you cannot afford a lawyer, I'll appoint one for you. Good luck to you, sir.
Sir,
Thank you, Ms. Sandler. Thank you, Mr. Harper. And thank you to the family.
Judge, so I realize these have been addressed, but I just wanted to announce them orally since they're still in the docket. Like Larry Haas has 2 cases, but those were continued to 4/14 by motion and order.
Yes, I signed a motion, or an order on that.
Judge, this is Clint Jones.
Actually, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I think I put April 16th on Mr. Haas's 2 cases, which are 23 CF 2671 and 23 CF 2856.
Judge, this is Clint Jones, 24 CF 972, 24 CF 973. Judge, there is a mental health evaluation pending. This is another one of those where I'll have a motion and order by next week, appointing a local doctor here to go see him, and I've spoken with Mr. Jones about that. But I would ask for a full cycle continuance, and hopefully we can come to a resolution next cycle.
Any objection? Okay. That will be April 16th at 9 o'clock for pretrial.
Larry Joyner.
Yes, sir.
Larry Joyner's next.
All right, Mr. Joyner, it's 24 CF 895, 24 CF 1000.
Judge, this is Mr. Joyner. We had depositions last month. One of the officers, there was an issue with getting service on that particular officer because he transferred to a different agency. We don't have his address, so we're trying to get him served through the state attorney's office, but he's now at the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Department. The depositions are reset, and I think they're in March, but I would ask for a full cycle continuance, Judge. He's the lead officer that we need to do his depo.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right. Then we will reset the case or continue the case to April 16th, pretrial.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
The next one, Judge, is Rayshawn Schaffner. I think that there are some behavioral issues that are complicating things. Likewise, addressed with earlier cases, there's a mental health evaluation that's pending. I'll get a motion order signed to have someone locally do it as opposed to the doctor that I retained from Jacksonville. I've been in contact with his family. We're trying to get third-party records. It's just a matter of him seeing the actual doctor, Judge. So I would ask for a full cycle continuance.
No objection, Judge.
All right, let me read off the cases so our record is clear. This is Mr. Schaffner, 21 CF 2362, 21 CF 2364, 21 CF 2399, 21 CF 3297, 21 CF 3299, 22 CF 340, 23 CF 1155, 23 CF 1156, 23 CF 1205, 24 CF 2048, and 24 CF 2049. All right, if you just send me, file a motion, send me an order, I will appoint the next expert on the list of court-approved experts.
Yes, Judge. The next one, I believe, is Regional Washington.
Okay, well, let me just put down, Mr. Schaffner is going to be on April 16th.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Mr. Washington is before the court on 23 CF 171. He's number 53 on your docket, and I believe the state may have an announcement on Mr. Washington's case.
Yes, Judge. The state's dismissing this case based on insufficient evidence to prove charges.
All right. So, Mr. Washington, the state has just dropped your case and is dismissing the charges. I don't know if there's anything else holding you in jail, but if not, then you should get out today.
Judge, I have Eric Williams, but for some reason he was not transported this morning. I've contacted the deputy that's in charge of transport. She's going to bring him with the afternoon, afternoon amount of inmates, and so I'm just going to stand by and I'll address him in the afternoon. It should be a plea, so hopefully we can get that close today.
All right. Yes. Let me see if, and then see where we are.
Judge, back to Alicia Marie Dean, 22 CF 2547. Judge, she's waiting on a lab report that a friend had in their vehicle. She left it. They gave her a ride, but she can't get her friend to answer. Can we just put it on for Monday and hopefully we'll get the report?
Okay, but before I do that, let's make sure where we are, because are you ready for trial?
Judge, I think it's one of those cases that honestly, if we can't work something out, then it would have to go to trial.
State?
State's ready for trial, Judge.
Okay, so this case is 2.5 years old. Judge Ketchel has previously said last continuance at least twice that I could find. I'm not inclined to continue the case anymore.
What are the trial dates?
Let's see, it is February 24th and March 3rd. Those are the 2 weeks for trial. That's February 24th and March 3rd.
So those are the days that we would pick a jury?
Correct.
So Judge, the 24th, that day, I do have a huge docket in Crestview, but I'm sure we can work something out, pick in the afternoon or something. And then on March 3rd, that would not be a problem, so that clears. So.
Okay. So defense is ready?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state, get your subs out. And this one will go to trial. We'll set it on Monday's docket. That's February 17th. That'll be the last day I'm going to accept a negotiated plea.
Sure.
After that day, it'll be either plea straight up or trial. And the state will put their offer on the record. I'll make sure that Ms. Dean understands it. So, ma'am, you do need to be here on February 17th. That's Monday for docket day. And we'll make sure that you're making an informed choice and you know what the state's offered and that you understand what could happen if you go to trial, okay?
Yep. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. All right, so would y'all like to call a few cases and then we'll go to lunch, or do you want to go to lunch now? I'm asking.
Your Honor, I don't believe that we have any of our clients produced yet, so I don't think that unless you guys have out of custody.
Is there anybody that's out of custody that we could, that's in the courtroom we could take?
We need it, if we can get 15 minutes, there are some inmates here for the public defender. If we could take a quick recess together.
would like to speak with a couple of them. I don't know who you're bringing up first, but.
Let me find out if we've, I want to know if we've got anybody out of custody.
Not that I was going to address one that might have been out of custody, Your Honor, if I could.
Okay, and then we can take a lunch break. That'll give y'all time to get people up and talk to them, and
Your Honor, there are, unfortunately, for the statewide prosecutor, my group of personnel, other than the first two or the letter A, are coming on the next transport. So my people may not be here for the most part until 1 or who knows.
what about Mr., is it Brickage?
Brickage, that's going to be one of those on that transport because he's the letter B. I will do whatever, obviously, work through lunch, whatever. But I hate to inconvenience the court or statewide prosecutor.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
I could be here, and I reached to the Okaloosa lead investigator of the case, and he gave me a number to a sergeant at the jail, and I'm gonna make a few calls to see if there's any way to get Mr. Brickage here sooner rather than later. If he's not approximately, is there a timetable of when he might be here, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock?
I can ask booking there, but they said sometime afternoon.
Okay, 12. I'll ask, is the bus left to go back yet? Has the bus left to go back yet? Okay. I would anticipate probably about 1:30 would be when they would be back based upon last few times.
Okay, so sorry.
No worries. I'll be here today, so.
Okay.
Your Honor, can I address Heather Gares? It's 24 CF 1315. She was the out of custody that my office unintentionally told her court was today.
Yes.
She's been in contact with my office. She's living in Pensacola. Her ride fell through and cannot make it back. My intent was to get another court date anyway. I didn't anticipate the state was going to make an amended offer over the last offer we had, and we need to schedule the rest of the depositions in this case as well.
So there's an amended offer, and you need depots, or?
No, I was checking to see if there was an amended offer from the last offer that we had.
There's not.
Oh, okay.
With that understanding, Your Honor, I need to schedule depositions on the rest of the listed witnesses in this case.
And that's without objection.
Okay, so, but she's not here.
I filed a waiver for her, Your Honor.
Okay. Then we will set her on April 14th.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
And I think that's the only one I had that would have been out of custody, Your Honor.
What can we do to move things along? Is now the best time for a lunch break?
It seems that way, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so let's come back in 1 hour. Unless anybody wants less, I'm at your disposal.
I would think, Your Honor, if we get transport back before then, let's see if we can go. If not, one would be perfect.
I will be in my office, so if everybody's ready to go before 1 hour is up, somebody let me know. Let court security know. They will get me. I will come back and we will move along.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll be in recess for lunch then for 1 hour. Thank you.